Hello folks, this is Calvin Goodman. Welcome you back to a late episode of Wheels of Mercury. And guess what? These are my top 10 albums of 2019. I look back at the year and I think, wow, what a good year it was for music. Not just heavy metal music, but music in general. And I'll let you know that on this list, it's not just metal anymore. I changed my description on my YouTube channel to reflect this. This is what I think was the best albums of 2019 in my opinion. First up, at number 10, Holding Absence self-titled album. Holding Absence is a band from Wales. They play an emotional combination of post-rock and mid-2000s emo mallcore. Think of Death Heaven mixed with My Chemical Romance. The album is beautiful. The voice is immaculate and almost brings me to tears every time I listen to it. It's a great record. Just check it out if you want to. Number 9, Pitfalls by Leprous. This album by the Norwegian prog metal band sees them dial back the metal elements for a very calm, introspective album that talks about the vocalist Einar Solberg's depression and anxiety. A lot of people suffer from depression and anxiety, so his lyrics on this album could be very relatable for people who have been through that. The songs are very progressive in nature, but not heavy like their previous records, The Congregation, Bilateral, or Coal. Just a great record from one of my favorite bands. Number 8, we've got Outglay Me by the band Mr. This band is from Iceland and they play a specific style of black metal. On this album, Mr. plays a very triumphant version of black metal and they play it vicious. It's just vicious and triumphant, very punk oriented too, with these shouts. Keep in mind that the lyrics are all in Icelandic. The music is pummeling and just gratifying all around. It's a great record. At number 7, Divided by Darkness by Beard Adrift. Beard Adrift used to be a band who played a style similar to Candlemass and Pallbearer. On this Divided by Darkness album, they've since dialed up the influences of Metallica's Ride the Lightning to 11 on this record. The whole thing is just full of modern heavy metal anthems. The singer, Nate Garrett, I think his name is, he is also in Gatecreeper, a death metal band. He does a great job of singing in a very understated way. He doesn't have the best voice for metal, but he tries and they get across their message well with the anthemic song. Next up is Amo by Bring Me the Horizon, one of my favorite groups. This is gonna be a controversial pick for a lot of people, especially if you're a metalhead. You see, Bring Me the Horizon has shape-shifted their sound so many times. It's not even worth it to call it a metal band anymore. But what they've done on Amo is basically create a multi-genre album with elements of EDM, hip-hop, pop, modern rock, nu metal. It's all over the board. The sonic experimentation on this album is so bold. It's a very ballsy move for Bring Me the Horizon, and I'm very excited to see what they come up with next, especially since I just heard Ludens off of the Death Stranding soundtrack. At number 5, we've got Ascension, the debut record from an Atlanta-based metal group called Paladin. Paladin is a thrash metal band that combines elements of melodic death metal, power metal, and old school heavy metal. Sort of mixes elements of Iron Maiden, Skeleton Witch, and a lot of power metal bands combined into one style. Their singer, Taylor Washington, is a very good guitarist. He has played in Ursus before too, which is a death metal band. His singing on this Paladin record is very Bruce Dickinson-ish. He goes between this Bruce Dickinson-ish wail and these growls that remind me a lot of Adam Clemens from Skeleton Witch. So if you wanna check it out, please do. At number 4, we've got Sulphur English by the band Inter Arma, who are from Richmond, Virginia. This album is sort of an exhausting one for me. It's a really good album that is really bombastic and just mean, an all-around ferocious album. It is also an exhausting listen to, but you should still listen to it for the insane drum work, eerie melody, and progressive musicianship. If I were to compare this album, it would be like the musical equivalent of seeing Godzilla rise up out of the water in the kaiju film. If you want to check it out, it's pretty extreme. Don't listen to it too often or you'll get exhausted, but you should still give it a listen if you're into extreme metal. Number 3 is a newer band called Iapetus, and their album, The Body Cosmic, a sci-fi themed progressive death metal album about love and death in space. It follows a character and some sort of story, but it has some beautiful ambient guitar work as well as some ferocious drumming, some insane black metal wails, and Carl Sagan. What's not wrong to go with Carl Sagan, one of the best astrologers of all time. So if you like metal and if you like Carl Sagan, get on it. My number 2 pick is Titanic Rising by indie folk darling and songwriter Natalie Murray, better known by her stage name Weyeth Blood. This album, I've been spinning it for months. It's gotten stuck in my head. The songs are all influenced by Fleetwood Mac, the Beatles, Joni Mitchell, but with an orchestral flourish. They talk about the current state of the world, climate change, and all that, but she puts a positive spin on it. Her voice is really pleasant on the ears to listen to. If you like retro style music and you want to hear retro style music being played again in 2019, check Weyeth Blood, Pacific Rising out. And here are some honorable mentions for my favorite albums of 2019. First up, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go by the massively popular Billie Eilish. Some of you may know her and be fans of her. Some of you may know her for just that bad guy. This album is more than just bad guy. They've got some cats like I Love You, All the Good Girls Go to Hell. My personal favorite from Billie's album is When the Party's Over. It's a ballad that is very understated, but has a very emotional output from her. It's just very well produced. Phineas did an amazing job. I don't know if you're gonna see this, Phineas, but you're gonna go places. I'm older than you, and I'm not even a Grammy-nominated producer. Good job, Billy and Phineas, for all the Grammy nominations. Hope you win. The next honorable mention is 1,000 Gets by the band 100 Gets. This album is probably the weirdest of the bunch. It's really, really fun. It's probably not for everyone. Actually, it's not for everyone. Imagine Broken Side, but 1,000 times better. Don't be derailed by that comparison. Even that can't give the music any justice. This album is fun, it's freaky, it's weird, and it blew my mind upon the first listen. Don't take my word for it, just go and listen to it. You'll either be freaked out saying, or, oh my god, this is revolutionary. My last honorable mention for 2019 is a band that I've met a couple times, and that band is Issues. Issues is from Atlanta, Georgia. Their album, Beautiful Oblivion, is a pretty good record. I have a shout out to the Issues guys for being so nice to me when I was on stage with them at Warped Tour in 2014, and when I met them again at Warped Tour in 2016 in Buffalo, New York. As of this recording, I'm going to go see them on Tuesday, December 3rd in Toronto at the Opera House with another band who you should check out called Sleep Token, but I'll talk about them later in my top 10 songs of 2019 video. But anyways, I will see them again, and I have VIP, so it'll be awesome meeting them again. Give a quick shout out to Josh Manuel. I'm subscribed to your channel, Josh. You're a great drummer. Love your new kit for the tour. It's great. Glowing drum heads for the win. And now, for my number one pick, is a band which should be known to metal fans all across the globe. Their name is Mercury, and their album, as my number one pick of the year, is called Veil of Imagination. I came across Mercury thanks to Angry Metal Guy blog. Veil of Imagination is an album that is a lot like Opeth early work. But if Opeth were to bring in choirs and strings and theatrical elements, that's basically what Veil of Imagination is. The album is grandiose in scale. The album actually opens up with a 14-minute song, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels more like 4 minutes than 14 minutes. And that's where the skill that they have is a lot like Rush or Dream Theater too, in which they have these compositions and they just make them so compelling. I don't know how they do it. The album begins with a speech and it ends with a speech, similar to Scenes of a Memory Part 2 from Dream Theater. If you like symphonic elements and if you like grandiose albums that you can just lie in your bed and like soak yourself into and become one with the music. One with the music. Then you have to own Mercury, Veil of Imagination. The best album I've ever heard this year. That's all for this episode of Wheels of Mercury. I'll see you guys in the next video. Rock on.